Okay, let's talk about a plant. A really beautiful one, actually, with these amazing purple flowers. People loved it so much they sent it all over the world. The problem? It ended up becoming one of the worst ecological disasters we've ever seen.
So you've got this tale of two realities, right? On one side, it's this treasured gift, a real symbol of Victorian high society. And on the other, a total plague. We're talking suffocated lakes, ruined economies, and a bill in the billions to even try and control it. So how does a plant become both? Well, that's the story, and it's a classic case of the road to hell being paved with good intention.
So, to figure out how this all went so wrong, we've got to go back to the beginning. Back to the one place where this plant wasn't a monster at all. Its original home in the Amazon.
Yeah. See, in its natural habitat, the water hyacinth, that's the scientific name, Eichhornia crassipes. It wasn't some kind of villain. It was just part of the furniture, you know? A piece of a really complex, balanced ecosystem. People thought it was beautiful, sure, but nobody was scared of it.
And this is the key thing to get. In the Amazon, the plant had checks and balances. The system kept it in line. You had massive floods that would just wash it out, strong currents that kept it from settling down, and a whole buffet line of insects and fish that would just munch on it. It even did good things like providing shade and cleaning the water. So the problem wasn't the plant. Not really. The problem was what happened when we took it out of that environment.
Okay, so now for the next chapter, how this totally harmless-looking plant went on a world tour. We're talking late 19th century. It gets scooped up from the Amazon and, with nothing but good intentions, gets shipped to basically every continent.
It all started with the upper crust, you know? Nobles, famous botanists, they were just mesmerized by its flowers. And because of the huge colonial networks back then, it was super easy to pass it around. It became this prized possession, traded between botanical gardens and officials. And let's be super clear, this was no accident. This was a completely intentional, human-led operation.
But here's the catch. In its new homes, places like the Nile River or the lakes in Southeast Asia, none of its natural enemies came along for the ride. There were no floods, no currents, nothing to stop it. In that beautiful gift, it turned into a monster, fast. It literally choked the life out of entire lakes, turning them into these dead green deserts.
And if you want to see just how bad it got, look at Lake Victoria in Africa. I mean, it was an absolute catastrophe. In the areas hit the hardest back in the 90s, the local fishing catch dropped by up to 90%. 90! Think about that. An entire economy, the food source for millions of people, just gone, wiped out.
And here's the kicker. The reason it's so devastating, its growth is just off the charts. It's exponential. If you give it what it wants, sun, warm water, some nutrients, a patch of this stuff can double in size. We're talking just 2 weeks. So a little spot becomes a massive lake-covering blanket before you even know it's happening.
And the damage just kept spiraling outwards. It wasn't just about losing the fish, not by a long shot. These thick, dense mats of hyacinth, they literally blocked boats, shutting down ports. They clogged up the pipes that farmers needed for irrigation. And worse, they created these perfect, stagnant pools of water for malaria-carrying mosquitoes to breed in. It was a complete and total system collapse.
So you've got to ask yourself, how on earth did we let this happen? And the really tough answer is, we didn't just introduce the plant. We basically rolled out the red carpet for it. We accidentally, but actively created the perfect storm for it to take over.
This is what I find so fascinating. It's like we became the plant's perfect accomplice. Think about it. The plant needs slow water? Boom, we built dams and canals. It loves nutrients? No problem, our farms pump tons of fertilizer runoff right into its new home. We basically terraformed the planet to be its perfect paradise. And we did it thousands of miles away from anything that could stop it.
So, faced with this global crisis, what did we do? Well, our response has been this 100-year-long slog. It's basically been a lesson in fighting an ecological wildfire that we lit ourselves. And man, it has been slow, it has been hard, and it has been incredibly expensive.
Our first instinct was just brute force, right? Let's just rip it out of the water, by hand or with huge machines. The problem? It was exhausting, it cost a fortune, and the second you turned your back, it grew right back. Okay, plan B, chemicals. Let's just spray it. Well, that just ended up poisoning the water and killing everything else. The real game changer came when we finally had a shift in strategy. We realized, okay, we can't kill this thing, we have to learn to control it.
And the heroes of this whole saga are surprisingly tiny. We're talking about two kinds of weevils, little insects brought all the way from the Amazon. See, these guys are the plant's natural-born enemies. They don't wipe it out completely, but they're constantly eating the leaves and stems. They just slow it down enough to stop those insane, explosive takeovers. They basically put a little bit of that natural balance back into the system.
So here we are, after 150 years of fighting this thing all over the globe. What's the big lesson? What's the takeaway from this beautiful flower that turned out to be so deadly?
This quote really just nails it, doesn't it? The idea here is that the plant isn't the bad guy. It's a mirror. It's just showing us the reflection of our own mistakes, the massive, unintended consequences of the things we build and the changes we make to the world.
Think about it like this. We didn't just drop a new plant into a lake. We changed the entire lake first, with our dams, with our pollution, with our farming. We turned what was a healthy, diverse ecosystem into the perfect petri dish, an incubation container, for this one single plant to thrive. We literally set the stage for the whole disaster.
And that leaves us with a pretty heavy question, one that's a little unsettling. The whole water hyacinth story started from a good place. People just thought it was beautiful. So it makes you wonder, as we're out there creating and designing our future, what are the beautiful solutions we're excited about right now that might just be the unintended plagues of tomorrow?